Whether or not the weather says so, summer is fast approaching, and with it comes a big question for parents. How do you keep your teenagers occupied with activities that are constructive but fun at the same time? Well, we have some experts here from the Washington County Library System who can tell us about some cool summer programs for teens. Welcome Courtney Grant and Anna Bruce from the Beaverton and the Tigard Libraries. Well, I think doing anything for teens is, taking off a big bite. It's a big challenge, isn't it? But it sounds like you've been very successful in the past with your teen reading programs, which are a lot more than just reading, right?
Mm-hmm. Very successful. It's been a lot of fun. So to be able to continue what we do during the year into the summer.
Well, speaking of that, in our traditional school academic calendar, you've got this 3-month gap. And I've heard some of the people who run the youth program say that during that time, littler kids can kind of slide backwards if they're not keeping up with their reading. Does the same hold true for teenagers? And what are some of the benefits of the program for teenagers to get involved with? Not just to have something to do and keep them entertained, but what do they get out of it?
I think the same is true for every age, not just children. Teens and adults, like anybody else, when they're not working with something, they're not going to really be engaging their brains in the same way. So we're excited to be able to offer opportunities during the summer for teens to be reconceptualizing how they look at learning. It's not just something that's classroom oriented, it's something that's fun and personally relates to their interests. And it's wonderful for us because it gives us a chance to show them that they have a lot of free resources and they become lifelong learners.
So it may be kind of getting them in the door of the library too, I suppose. For some of them, maybe the first time, I don't know.
Getting them to see the library is not just the place to finish your school assignment, but to come and have a fun time as well.
Okay, tell us a little bit about how the program is structured. Say if a teen signs up, what can they expect to experience during the summer?
Every library is a little different, but they usually sign up and they have a goal of reading to complete. There's 2 parts. There's the reading on their own at home and then the programs that we offer at the libraries.
Well, let's talk about the reading piece first. I understand that every year there's a theme, and so this year the theme is metamorphosis. Could you talk about the theme and how does that theme relate to the kind of books that you have out for them?
Metamorphosis can mean anything, and I think the first thing you think of is metamorphosis. The caterpillar comes out of the cocoon into a butterfly. But in some ways, maybe not necessarily just butterflies, but that relates a lot to where teens are at in their lives. They're growing more developmentally between 12 and 18 than they have since they were newborn to 2 years old.
Wow.
And so in that way, they're changing and exploring who they are a lot. So metamorphosis is a fantastic chance for them to explore all those different changes, how they're relating with the world and how other people have. And that can be in nonfiction with, Tigard's been selecting stuff about recycling and reusing things. We do fiction books, those great coming-of-age stories. It's not just Catcher in the Rye anymore.
Right, that I don't know that kids could relate to so much anymore, but there's probably a lot of new fiction, new nonfiction out there for kids. Now, when they say a teenager, say I had a teenager who signed up, they set a goal of whatever, how many books they want to read, right? They could say 20 or they could say 5. I mean, do they set their own goal?
Each library is different. I know that Tigard has a reading log that is so many hours set aside, and they have to read in certain increments to finish the program and to be entered into a prize drawing.
Yeah, and that's how it works for Beaverton too. But the fun thing about that is that reading isn't just sitting down with a book. I mean, they could be looking at graphic novels, they could be reading a how-to manual to redo that car they want to drive next year, or they could even be listening to audiobooks in the car as the family takes a road trip. Wow.
So you're really expanding the notion of the book experience. It isn't just the old-fashioned curl up under the apple tree with the hardback book. There are just a lot of other media that you consider. Yeah. That's great. Now you have this list, as you said, of maybe recycling or coming-of-age books, but again, if a teen none of those appeals to that teen, they could be checking out how to tune up your Mazda, basically book. Anything goes as far as...
It does, and we do a lot of reading, and we love to be able to recommend stories, so they can always ask a librarian for help in pointing them in the right direction of something they may enjoy.
Oh yeah, you may open up an avenue of interest they didn't even know they had before. What are some of the, so they set the goals and then they kind of hopefully meet those. And if they do meet them, aren't there some incentives usually you offer them every summer? What are some of the incentives that you have for the teens?
Well, when they finish the program, they get to pick a prize book, and then they get a bag of goodies from several different sponsors. And then there are also some grand prizes that are up to each library to set. So I know that Beaverton
Great.
has something. They're giving away a $100 grand prize this year.
You can enter book reviews of the books you read over the summer, and weekly we do prize drawings. And at the very end, if your review is the final one that's drawn, you get $100.
$100, that's
Yeah.
not bad at all. What else? What do you have at your library?
At Tigard, we're going to have several gift bags of different things. So there's going to be one, a night out with pizza and movie tickets and
Perfect.
all sorts of fun things.
Well, the other thing that I was thinking, because I did teach high school once, and I know that teenagers can be hard to entertain, but I'm sure this program is a lot of good minds pooled together. And talk about some of the activities that they'll be able to enjoy.
Wow, where do we even begin?
There are a lot.
I think it tends to be a combination at most libraries of ongoing programs and one-time programs. So one-time programs are things that we do a special interest sort of night. So in Beaverton, to kind of do our first big monthly program in June, we're going to be hosting a henna night. We're going to have a professional henna artist come in and do those temporary tattoo designs, which is very fun.
Thank you for telling me. I saw that and I thought, Hannah, I thought of hair dye, and I thought, no, they're not dyeing their hair. Surely
No,
not.
no.
Okay, so they're like fake tattoos?
Right.
Wash off?
Right.
Okay, good
Yeah,
to know.
they just naturally kind of shut off with skin cells over time. But on the other hand, we also have ongoing monthly programs. Like we do teen screens every other week where we show new to DVD movies in the Beaverton Auditorium. And we do Pwned, which is a gaming program. Pwned, it's an internet gaming slang. It's short for owned, to like to completely annihilate your opponent or to really win a game. And we're doing DDR and Guitar Hero this summer every other week.
Wow, that sounds fun. Thank you for the translation for those of us who are a little behind the times with that. Now, what do you consider a teenager? I know I started thinking of myself as a teenager when I was 11, but you probably have sort of an age in mind.
We usually say entering into 6th grade through 12th.
Okay, so it's through high school. So, and those things are probably interesting to most of those kids that age. How can, and now you don't charge anything for this, is that correct?
No,
so
it's completely free.
teenagers, it's completely free. Who pays for the programs? And I know some taxpayers out there is probably saying, well, how can we afford this program? It sounds pretty cool.
It's a combination of funding. We have some great sponsors who sponsor the program and some grants from both the state and private grants as well. So.
And there were quite a few local sponsors, I think I saw too, some private, like you said, private businesses. Well, how can people find out more about this program, just about the specific things or how to sign up?
Well, of course, we're always going to encourage everybody to come into the library, and especially coming up to the teen rooms in our local libraries and just ask us about it. And sign-ups begin on June 1st. But other than that, you can also visit the website for the county at wccls.org, and you can look at any local library you're interested in. You can also call your local library at any desk.
Great. Well, there's a lot to love there, and it's all free, so sign up. Thanks for coming in, Courtney and Anna. And good luck with your program this summer.